Hello and good morning. Welcome to the new session on AWS database. So, from your search bar, please select RDS and you will come to this screen. So, you can type here RDS and it takes you to your relational database service, so which is here. Now, a relational database service is a fully managed PaaS service and users have to just worry about the data, the encryption, and the type of application that you want to use. Rest will be managed by AWS. You can create single region or multi-region databases over here. So let's click and create a database and start. So these are the different types of databases that are available. You can use MySQL compatible, PostgreSQL compatible. So Aurora is AWS proprietary. Then you have MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, or IBM DB2. So you can also use Easy Create to quickly create the database, but I'm going to use Standard Create to show you all the options one by one, how it works. So you can use PostgreSQL or MySQL. I'll just use MySQL over here, but you can use any one you want, and I'll use the preferred engine. Now, do you require any support? Then you can think about it, and it's a paid service. If you want, AWS is going to charge you. Now you usually have three types of environment, which is a free tier environment where the database gives you a standard single availability zone read point and write point for the primary database. In dev test environment, they give you usually two databases in multi-AZ, in two different AZ, where one is the primary instance, which is a read write point, and second one is the standby, no endpoint. So in case if this fails, then only you are transferred to the second availability zone. Then you have a production environment, which is usually multi-AZ, and this is just 2, this is 3. That's the only difference between the two. So that's a totally new screen that has come up from AWS. And this is your primary write and read point, and these are reader points, and users can read the data from different ends and continue writing on one environment. So for more detailed demonstration, I will use production environment, but you can also use free tier, and dev test, which is slightly cheaper than, or we can call it as it's basically for development and testing environment, and this is for deployment in production environment. So you can give any name. I'll give it database1. The username is admin. You can manage your password through AWS Secrets Manager, but I will manage the password over here, and I'm going to give a password as PASSW0RD. Okay, I'll give a different one, PASSW0RD1234. That's okay, and it is PASSW0RD1234. So they must match, and once it is there, that's okay. Can't contain any of the following symbols, so I hope I've not used them. PASSW0RD1234. And I'll reconfirm I'm not using any of these symbols, no special characters in the password, which is clearly mentioned here, but at least 8 characters are required. You can use any type of instance, which is standard M class or compute optimized C class or memory optimized or standard classes. You can also use T3 micro if you want, and you can use the database if it is available. So it is going to, I'll just use the whatever option is available, which is M series, M5D, which is supports RDS optimized writes. In production environment, we usually use IO1, IO2, but we can also use GP3 if required. So IO1 is for flexibility in provisioning, and IO2 provides us low latency, highly durable with high IO intensive storage. So I'll just use whatever the default is given, and the allocated usage by default, it is minimum 20 GB. It must be between 100 and 64 terabytes, so I'll just use 100 terabytes by default. What is minimum? This is just for demonstration purposes, and with free tier, I think you get only 20 GB, and you can expand it up to 1000 GB or something like that. Just please check the documentation for more details. For connectivity, you can connect the resource to any EC2 instance. If you want to access the resource from a particular EC2 instance, you can click here and select the EC2 instance if it is available, but I am going to connect using the compute resources. For VPC, I am going to use my custom VPC. So let's use the default one then, and let's go ahead with it. And the subnet group, we'll use the default one, and I want a public access, but in production environment usually we don't give a public access to the database. In terms of security group, we'll just use the default security group, but you can also create a new security group and you can give any name. I can call it as my DBSG, which is my database security group, and it is going to allow access to port number 3306. If you want a proxy, you can create it and just leave everything to default, and as I said, port number 336 will be allowed and it has a public access. In terms of authentication for database, we will use password, and for monitoring we can have standard monitoring or advanced monitoring, which the database information will be sent to CloudWatch. So I'll just leave everything to default, and in terms of monitoring, we can enable enhanced monitoring, which is available every 60 seconds. And you can also generate logs, which can be sent to CloudWatch logs for audit, error, general, etc. So I'll just select audit error. I'll just show it to you if there is any for demonstration, and the role will be automatically created. In terms of configuration, I'll just if you want, you can create automated backup, so it will keep a snapshot of your database. For 7 days, you can have it from 1 to 35 days, whatever period you want. So I'll just use default. And if you want to keep a backup, you can keep a backup window of your database. You want to enable encryption, you can enable encryption, but of course it comes with a price, and you can ask them that they can make minor version upgrade to the system. You can also enable deletion protection if your database is accidentally, you think it can be deleted, so you can enable it so that nobody is able to delete it. And by default, this is the cost that you will get for this database. So be very careful when you are selecting it. So I'm just going to put it in single AZ over here, and the cost will come down considerably. So this is database instance, storage, and provision IOPS. It is going to cost me this much per month. So make sure you are very careful when you are selecting the environment over here. Rest of the information is good. And as I said, make sure that you also delete your resources once they are completed. So I'll just click and create the database, and this will take this process will take at least 15 to 20 minutes to create the database, and I'll come back to you once the database is ready. So I'll pause the recording and we'll wait for the system to come back once it is ready. Hi, welcome back. So it looks like our database is created, and if we refresh, you see that we have got this message. If you click on the database, you will see here that we have a database endpoint. The VPC is enabled, the subnets are there, and we also have a security group that must be created for us. To check this, we can click on VPC and we'll go to our console, click on security groups over here, and you will see we have my database SG, and we'll just give the name as DB security group, and it should be good. And if we have a look at it, and if we have a look at the inbound rules, it is only giving connection through us, through my IP address. So I'll just add it from anywhere on IPv4, and I'm going to save. I'll just say DB in, and I'm going to click on save rules, and my database security group is ready. So now we have connection from everyone. So we'll go back to database, and to connect the database you can have various engines. You can use SQLtron, and because it's a MySQL workbench, you can also use MySQL workbench, or you can use Azure Data Studio. Any of these that you can use, or you can also use CLI if you require. So you can also use MS SQL to connect to your databases as well. So it just needs the endpoint, etc. of the database, or there's also SQL CMD that also you can connect it, and it will be able to connect to the database. So I'm not using CLI, but yes, you can use CLI to connect the databases as well. So I'm going to open any of these. So let me try with SQL Workbench. Any of these you can use, so that's totally up to you. And we are going to create a new connection, which will click on this. It is going to ask for the connection name, and I'm going to just give the name as DB Connect, and it is going to be standard TCP IP, and the host name is this is your endpoint. So you just select this and paste this here, and this is the port, and the username is admin by default, and you can just click on test connection. It is going to ask for the password, so it's PASSW0RD 0RD1234, and let's try it. And it has successfully made the connection, so it is connected. And let's connect the server. So we'll double click on this, and we are connected to the server. I'm going to click on add, and I'm going to add a server. So this is the name of the server is MyDB Connect, and it is a database of MySQL type. This is the host address, which is this. Username is admin, and password is PASSW0RD1234, and just try test first. It should connect, and then click on save and just click connect, and you're connected, and you will see the same information over here. In addition to this, you can also see that we have monitoring tabs. So this is going to create some monitoring graphs for you. You have a lot of information that is available here. You can see that we have the connections, and it is giving some information. Logs have been sent to CloudWatch, and I'm going to show you the logs, and this is where they are running. And you can also have the configuration of your entire database engine over here. For maintenance and backups, it is going to create a backup automatically, and it has already created a snapshot. Make sure in the end, before you close it, you remove these snapshots. Data migration, if you're creating, and anything else. In terms of CloudWatch, you can just go here, type CloudWatch, and you will see all the logs have come up over here in the log hooks. So this is where it is going to manage all your logs for the system. So this is your RDS metrics for all information about the database, and you can further go into this and you can read all the information about the logs. In terms of the error, if there are any, it is going to give any errors and any information about the log, about the system, and everything will be recorded over here. So to conclude, you must go there, make sure you click here first to the snapshot, which is here. In terms of maintenance and backups, make sure you remove the backup if you want it. Make sure you restore if you want any point in time restoration from the snapshot, etc. You can take it, and it is going to create a snapshot from here. Successfully, once you have done it, make sure you delete your database so that your information, you don't pay, and you don't want any backup, you don't want to create any final snapshot, and you save, it will be deletion and will no longer be available, and we will just type delete me, and we will enable deletion process. So make sure you do that to avoid any costs. Thanks for watching, and for questions, please feel free to reach me.